Alright, now guys, doing we hopping into Deuteronomy 23 and 24. So let's hop straight into it once it loads. He that is wounded in the stones or hath his privy member cut off shall not enter the congregation of the Lord. The bastard shall not enter the congregation of the Lord, even his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even for their 10th generation, for they shall not enter the congregation of the Lord forever. Because they, when they met you with not with bread or with water on the way when you came forth out of Egypt, because they hired against thee Balaam the son of Peor of Pethor of Mesopotamia to curse thee. Nevertheless, the Lord thy God will not hearken unto Balaam, but the Lord thy God turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because the Lord thy God loved thee. Thou shalt not seek peace, nor their prosperity all their days forever, for thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother, and thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their 3rd generation. When the host goes forth against thine enemies, then keep thee from every wicked thing. And if there be among you any man that is not clean by reason of uncleanliness, that chanceth him by night, he shall go abroad out of the camp, that he shall not come within the camp. But it shall be, when evening cometh on, he shall wash himself with water, and when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp again. And thou shalt have a place also without the camp with her, that thou shalt go forth abroad, and thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon. And it shall be, when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith, and thou shalt turn back and cover that which cometh from thee. And the Lord thy God walks in the midst of thy camp to deliver thee and to give thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he shall see no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from thee. Thou shalt not deliver unto his master the servant which is escaped from his master unto thee. He shall dwell with thee even among you in the place which he choose in one of thy gates, where it liketh him best, and thou shalt not oppress him. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite in the sons of Israel. And there shall not bring the hire of a whore or the price of a dog into the house of the Lord thy God for any vow, for even both of these are an abomination unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother the usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon a usury. Unto a stranger that thou mayest lend a usury, unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon a usury, that the Lord shall bless thee, and thy soul shall settle thee into thy land when this thou goest to possess it. When thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord, thou shalt not slack to pay it, for the Lord thy God will surely require it of thee, and it will be sin in thee. And if thou shalt forbear a vow, then it shall be no sin in thee. That which is gone out of thy lips thou shalt keep and perform, even a freewill offering, according as thou hast vowed unto the Lord thy God, which thou hast promised with thy mouth. When thou comest into thy neighbor's vineyard, that thou mayest eat the grapes and fill at thine own pleasure, but thou shalt not put in any of thy vessel. When thou comest to the standing corn of thy neighbor, that thou mayest pluck the ears with thine hand, but thou shalt not move a sickle unto thy neighbor's standing corn. And then we go on to chapter 24. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it shall come to pass that she shall find no favor in his eyes, that because he has found some uncleanliness in her, then let him write her a full bill of divorcement and give it to her in her hand and send her out of his house. When she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement and gives it in her hand and sends her out of his house, if the latter husband die which took her to be his wife, her former husband which sent her away may not take her again to be his wife after that she is defiled. For that is an abomination before the Lord, and thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. When a man hath taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home 1 year, and shall cheer up his wife which he hath taken. No man shall take the nether upon the millstone to pledge, for he takes a man's life to pledge. It shall be found, if a man shall be found stealing of any of his brethren of the children of Israel, or maketh merchandise of him, or selleth him, that thief shall die. Thou shalt put away evil from among you. Take heed in the plague of leprosy, that thou observe diligently, and do according to all that the priests of the Levites shall teach you. As I command them, so shall ye observe to do. Remember what the Lord thy God did upon Miriam, by the way, unto after that which ye come forth out of Egypt. When thou dost lend thy brother anything, thou shalt not go into his house to fetch his pledge, and thou shalt stand abroad to the man whom thou dost lend, and shall bring out the pledge from abroad unto thee. And if the man be poor, thou shalt not sleep with his pledge. In any case, thou shalt deliver him and the pledge again when the sun goes down, that he may sleep in his own raiment and bless thee. And it shall be righteousness unto thee before the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren or of strangers that is in thy land within thy gates. At his day that thou shalt give him his hire, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor and setteth his heart upon it, lest he cry against thee unto the Lord, and it be sin unto thee. And the fathers shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers, and every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Thou shalt not pervert the judgment of the stranger, nor the fatherless, nor take a widow's raiment to pledge. But thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee thence. Therefore I command thee to do this thing. When thou cuttest down thine harvest in thy field, and thou hast forgot a sheaf in the field, and thou shalt not go again and fetch for it, for it shall be for a stranger, for the fatherless, for the widow, for the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thine hands. And when thou beatest thine olive tree, thou shalt not go over to the boughs again, for it be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. And when thou gatherest the grapes of thy vineyard, thou shalt not glean it afterwards, for it shall be for the stranger, the fatherless, and for the widow. Thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in the land of Egypt. Therefore I command thee to do this thing. And that will be all. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.